little story. I won't go into the big part, well, I'll do the short part. In Love Without End, where it tells about finding the sheep that was in the painting. I was looking everywhere for sheep, and there were no sheep available at that time of year, and I really wanted to see a real, I wanted to feel it and touch it, because as an artist, I wanted to give the total tactile feeling of what the sheep would look like. And nowhere. So I went back. I had one thought, and that was that about 2 blocks from where I grew up, there is now a really large farmer's market in Weatherford, Texas. The farmer's market was not there at the time. It was just a big, big open field. And actually, I rode my horses on that field. I played on that field. My best friends and I played cowboys and Indians on that field. We had campouts and cookouts on that field. We really said the youthful prayers of our life on that field. And now there's a farmer's market on that field. And I went back hoping that on that Monday there would be somebody there with some sheep. And we walked all the aisles, and there were no aisles with sheep. And finally we got down to, at the end, where there were just a row, they weren't really aisles, they were more like rows of pickup trucks and livestock hauling trailers for hauling livestock. And they were lined up to create little pens. And there was this pen full of dirty, muddy sheep that looked kind of scraggly. And there was a rancher that looked about as scraggly as the sheep. And we walked up to him, and I just said, "Would you mind if I looked at your sheep?" And he said, "No." And he had a genuine cowboy hat on. We're talking about genuine beat up. You know, it's the style now to wear beat up cowboy hats, but boy, he had the authentic cowboy hat. The authentic boots and spurs. He was the real McCoy. And I said, "Where'd you come from?" He said, "I came from down around El Paso." And I said, "Did you bring the sheep up from a ranch down there?" He said, "Yeah, I did. I brought them up from down there." And I said, I looked over the sheep, and as I was doing that, this beautiful white ewe, the only one that wasn't dirty or scraggly, she walked up from the back of the herd. I didn't even see her at first. And she walked up to the front, and I said, "You're beautiful." And she didn't look like any sheep I had ever known. Well, you can see from the paint that she looks different. She was white, she wasn't dirty with lanolin, and she just walked up to me, and I started reciting the nursery rhyme, "Mary, Mary, had a little lamb." I said, "I think I'll call you Mary." And I started petting her, and she was nuzzling me, whereas the other sheep were very shy, and they were moving away. And I looked down, and I said, "Is she just fat, or is she pregnant?" And I was actually hoping to see some lambs, and he didn't have any lambs. And he said, "She's pregnant." And I said, "What does she do?" He said, "About February." And I got this bright idea that we had renovated a home to recover from the fire, and this home we renovated was zoned for agriculture, for livestock. One, "Can you tell me what kind of sheep this is?" And he said, "She's a mouflon." And I said, "Okay." That didn't mean anything to me at the moment, but I figured I would go to the library and I would check out mouflon. I got there in the Encyclopedia Britannica. You can check it out for yourself. Mouflon, the oldest domesticated breed of sheep in the world, and the one most commonly herded in the Holy Land. Now, we could possibly assume that an angel put that on his load in South Texas and he brought it up. Or we could also consider that the ground I played in as a child was part of the inevitability of what I would do. And the prayer was placed in the earth 40 years ago, 40 years earlier. So I want to really, really open this up right now about this modality of prayer, that being the love that you are is itself a residence that has an impact upon the flow and the resonance of the entire universe. And that everywhere we walk and live, we are leaving an imprint of the Creator and the Creator's plan that will unfold at some point in the future, if you want to call it the future. We don't always understand these dimensions